Record. That's got a red light. That's got a red light. Should we turn this to manual focus, or you think it's fine?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
It's a podcast, it's not a video.
Okay. Just checking.
Only because people have been commenting. I was like, you can do your hi guys.
Say hi guys. But yeah, sorry,
We've had a couple of comments in the last couple of weeks so we've got this, we're always shooting in a daylight environment, so the light's going to be changing.
Yeah, we mentioned this last week.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
And the FX, did I go into detail?
Maybe not, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It was
You
very
just
rude.
cut me off.
It was
So
very
rude of you.
me.
See what, you're becoming a bridezilla and you still got a couple more weeks to go. No wonder Jared punched you last night. See, she didn't argue.
Accident, he was in his sleep and I don't know what happened, but all of a
That's
sudden
what he used to say, Cherie.
he just jolted up and went like whack down on my face and woke me. I was like, oh. And I don't know what he was doing.
It might have been because you were looking at all those sex hotels in Japan. Anyway, getting off Beck's disgusting stories. On the FX3, we just use a neutral ND filter set to auto, but it doesn't cover a big range. And a couple of videos, it's been as bright like this, and then by an hour later, it's gone dark, and we're too busy talking crap than looking what the screen's doing. And at the end of the day, it's not like the visuals at the start are going to be the same at the end.
Yeah, it's just us anyway.
But
and apologies for sometimes if the auto focus hunts a little bit.
But when we put it on manual focus, it was...
Well, if we move in and out, it was
a pain in the buttus.
Anyways,
that's our disclaimer out of the way.
Yes.
Our other disclaimer is we were talking about, I think we've already done it once, but someone did mention it, so I thought I'll bring it up again. We were talking about Patreon and things like that. We've decided that it's, I don't know, it feels to me a bit like it's weakening our brand. It's either, if you don't think we're worth it, go to YouTube and just cost you an ad. If you think what we do is really good, go and subscribe for a month or something. Something in between. You're not going to get any better content. You just maybe see content that YouTube doesn't allow, but we're filming very carefully now that all of the stuff that's really my shooting, like it's all my photo ones are the ones that have been canned by, so I can't show photos I can show on every other platform. I can't show them on. So it's more that stuff will be saved only for Inspire, and YouTube will just have to be...
so we're not doing that anymore.
We're not going to do that.
On that.
On that. And we're doing a website rebuild on my website over the next 3 or 4 months.
Yes.
And we're just got a few little things coming into play.
Us.
Yes.
Yes. What?
I don't know, I was humming. I was trying to think.
Well, I was going to say that, I mean, I'm really sick of this, and I feel like a bit of a broken record because I know we've spoken about it so much, but I'm really sick of this whole discussion around AI. Like, it's just really starting to just, I don't know, irritate me, like.
AI is so big a area.
Yeah.
So AI is massive. It's just artificial intelligence.
I know that, but I'm talking about related to photography.
I know, but it's amazing. I'm seeing a lot of people that are sort of going, AI is great, it's taking over the world. And then you see all of a sudden all their content is AI, which means they weren't good enough to create it either with a painting or drawing or photograph or video. They're now just getting, but what they don't realise is everyone can see AI. It's like CGI. You can still see CGI. Even when you're watching a movie and go, that city is too surreal. The focusing on that city, you know straight away it's all been built artificially, and it destroys the feeling of things. And I think someone made a comment sometime about, it's a waste of time now. AI will be able to do. You're about to bring that up.
Yes.
Well, you do that then. Sorry for butting in.
Fine.
I'll go sit in the corner.
Because you did a podcast with, I'm pretty sure their channel's called The Camera Shake. I went to go check out if your podcast had been uploaded. It hasn't been uploaded yet, but while I was checking out their page, I saw they had a clip with David Bergman, who came to our New York workshop.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, hey, I know him. And I think the caption was something about AI. And so I just clicked on it. It was only a short clip. And he was saying that, things like product photography, stock photography, then yes, maybe AI can take over. But when it comes to things like shooting weddings, shooting portraits, like it's not going to you're not going to get that emotion that you get in a real photo because AI doesn't have the connection that's going to, like, it's like with what you do. AI can't get the emotion out of a person.
Yeah, no, I've seen some...
I really liked his answer.
Yeah, well, it can't, I don't think it ever will, because it's something I've said a lot, that if there's a Kate Moss book, I think it's just called Kate, and it's all her photos, but she's put them in groups of photographers she's worked with. And you just see she looks so different with each of the photographers. And I can't see AI doing that unless they can train AI to say, we want someone that looks like Claudia Schiffer with the Peter Lindbergh expression.
Yeah.
So in time that might happen, but the fact that's what they're asking the AI to do, it just means the AI can only copy, it can't create.
Exactly. Well, then...
Which means they can never copy me because my mind is such a mess. It doesn't know what I'm going to do next.
Well, then, someone made a recent comment on one of our things saying the same thing, like, you're going to be out of a job soon, AI is coming. And so because I really liked what David said, I kind of just reworded that a little bit, and that was my answer to him, that no, it's not going to be able to get emotion. And this guy came back and was like, yes, it already can, and it's doing that. And I was like, but it's not. And like, you look at these AI, and like, I stumbled across it.
Am I allowed to say what you did?
Well, I just looked at, because I think he said that he was a photographer himself, so but then I looked at his page and
it was
everything
so
that
obvious AI.
Yeah, and I was like, this is
even the music.
You like you can tell when something's AI. Like, you can tell that it's okay. Like, there are some that are very convincing, but most of the time you can tell it's AI.
Well, there's that one on X came up in my feed a bit, and I actually got really frustrated, so to block it, because I didn't ask to follow it, but I told it to block it because it sucked me in so often. Sucked me in to stop and look. Yeah. But every time I looked, I go, that's friggin' AI shit. Now, when I say AI shit, it's too perfect.
Yeah.
And I don't mind, and I've got a couple of AI pictures in my folder of like inspiration for models, but it's more, I liked what they did with the framing and and I like the feel of the shot, but now give me a real emotion, not a robotics emotion. I think that the world's going to start moving quicker than it's ready for, because I saw the Japanese kitchen robots are about to be released into Australia. So you want a cup of tea, your robot will go make you a cup of tea. So you've got a robot that'll do all of that for you. I saw that they're now got robots that have muscles, that the actual electronic pulses move them. And then I saw, I think Elon Musk posted a look of what future computers, like what insides are going to look like. It's like, oh Jesus, this is going to move. Every day it's going to double or triple. Because as computers get smarter, they can do things quicker. And as AI kicks in, it'll get quicker. And then when quantum computing comes in, forget it. The world's gone then. Yeah.
Well, anyways, that was just my issue. But spit it out, Bec. I feel a bit silly being like, I'm sick of having this conversation, and then I bring it up. I feel a bit sick, but I'm just sick of seeing everyone saying the same thing of talking about it. I don't know. Anyway, that's just my little whinge.
I'm finding it. Yeah, it's all right. But I think people It's like going back and listening to a vinyl record. There's lots of faults and flaws in it. You're not going to get the instruments to sound like they really sound. They're going to be smoother, which is more appealing.
Yeah.
It's like paintings. They tend to be smoother to look at. Film versus digital, all of those things. People still tend to go back to the stuff that has the most emotion.
Yes.
That's why even with me shooting film, it's just like too slow. I'm not getting my shots because I can't shoot the way I want to shoot because I can't focus as quick as I can focus. So I've learnt the tricks to make my digitals like identical to film. So you can't tell. So that's how I can put that film emotion in, but I can still now put the emotion into the model that I want when I click.
Yeah.
Anyway, but they're legit things. A lot of the general day-to-day people won't pick up on it straight away, but I think in time they'll tend to go, oh, that feels fake.
Yeah, true.
But you still got those people who buy the OLED TVs and crank sharpness to full and contrast to full and goes, wow, look at that. And I look at it and go, yeah, I've never seen anything like that in nature myself. There could be, like that weird little creek in New Zealand. That was really like, it was 3D. It was created. It just didn't feel real.
The water was so clear.
It wasn't there.
It was crazy. Crazy. Anyway, that's my little whinge.
That's your little rant.
Yes.
So is that our thumbnail going to be and we can't do AI thumbnails because they don't go well. People don't like looking at me being beautifuler than I normally am. So I was reading my note.
That's okay.
That's okay?
I know you can't talk and read or listen at the same time.
Can't do anything at the same time.
The amount of times you'll be reading and I'll ask you a question and I'm like, and then I repeat it and you like, cause I think for you just hear like annoyed and then you're like, I'm reading it. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, sometimes if I stop reading, I have to start right back at the beginning again. I love dyslexia. It's got its bonuses. I do think it's like I say to people, if you're going to drink or eat something, close your eyes and sniff it first.
Don't do that with Vegemite.
No, don't do it with Vegemite.
You'll never eat it if you do that first.
And don't do it with awful bad food. But if you can, the more senses you can turn off, the more the senses that are active will pick up. So yeah. I need every one of my senses concentrated on trying to understand what that letter means. No, what I was going to say, one thing, a couple of things, and it might be a whinging week this week. It's only these things that pissed me off this week, and some of these things really pissed me off, so I thought I need to talk about.
Okay.
First thing, Instagram.
What
happens to every single landscape photographer in the world? You now crop everything in portrait.
No, it's just for the way it looks on the grid. And once you tap on it...
But who taps on it?
Everyone.
I don't.
Well, you just go and scroll through someone's page. You never click on a photo to look at it.
Only if it's amazing. I'm not going to waste my time clicking on every picture.
Well, like sometimes I go to someone's profile and tap on the first one and then scroll so I can see all their photos bigger.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Oh, well, I do that.
No, if the thumbnail's not good enough to get me, they miss out.
Well, are you?
I don't even like the ones that stack them underneath each other. I don't want to go through shit pictures because the front picture's good.
Well, I don't know. Most of my posts are scrollies.
Yeah, I know. I don't need to watch most of yours. I already know what happened. No, just because what it's done is gone from one. So I like the square. It's fitting between the two. So people do portrait or people do landscape, they're getting at least what now. Anyone who's shooting landscape is. I liked what was it? I can't remember what the original one was. Was it 500 pics or something like that? Where it's just set like I'm setting up my new web page to be. So
well, originally Insta was only square.
Yeah, well that's how I used to use it.
But then they changed it so that you can upload it in.
And if the picture didn't work, I'd recrop it to square and then upload it. Sorry, burps.
Gross.
No, I can't. I think it was 500 pics. What do they call it? When you've got square up and it just. Oh, it's a name for it. Mo used it, our IT guys. So that's what I want my website to go back to.
Oh, right.
So, and that's how I want my whatever the crop is a crop that you see. And it's, mosaiced.
Right.
So it just fills the gaps, it finds the right thing to fill the gaps, and it'll make this small to fit into that gap and so forth. So I like the mosaic because you can see the thumbnail's the original picture, and if you want to see it bigger, you click on it.
Right.
And my site at the moment, they took the mosaicing off, and now it's, I think, just square.
Isn't it rectangle?
Whatever it is, I'm not a fan. So that's why our webpage is getting changed. But yeah, it's also proving to me that Instagram is becoming less and less about photos, more and more about reels, and that most reels are shot on phones, so they're always going to be
reels
portrait.
are always like
Portrait.
that. I know. But I find that annoying in itself that Instagram's trying to push reels, because if I want to watch short form videos, I go to a TikTok, I go to a different platform. If I want to look
but that's why they're doing it.
I get why. I'm just saying, I personally, I go on Instagram to look at photos. If I want to look at short form videos, I go to TikTok. If I want to watch longer videos, I go to YouTube. I don't want it all on one.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I hardly ever watch a short on YouTube unless I search for something and there's a short that I can do in 2 minutes. It's easier and quicker to watch it. So it's normally some cooking little thing I'm checking out. So, yeah, but they're always trying to pinch each other. So all they're doing is, although nobody's trying to pinch anything X's doing. I know, I think...
Yes, they are. Instagram did. They bought out Threads that no one used.
Yeah, and the other thing is they're about to bring out that fact-checking thing that X has, which means if someone says, no, that's bullshit, you can actually put it in there as long as you can prove that what you're saying is the truth. So it's all those clickbait ones that are talking shit. Very quick, you'll see something below it that's basically pointing out that, nah, they're lying. What are you looking at? Oh. No, it's just...
Red dots?
Oh, I thought you saw something moving in the background.
Just looking at red dots.
All right, so
that's upset you.
They can go F off.
That's upset you. So what do you...
It's more upset me that the platform was built around pictures and we were all pushed to move on to this platform to share our pictures, and now they don't want to.
Well, they just change a lot of people were really, I was confused when I first noticed it, and I was like, clicked on someone's profile and I was like, huh? And then I went to mine, I was like, oh, that's very interesting. But anyway, and that doesn't bother me because I post a lot of my things in portrait anyway, so to each their own.
To own their each.
Everyone's going to have different opinions on it.
Oh yeah, no, people who shoot everything in portrait, most likely love it.
Well, that's what I just said. I like it because I'm posting a lot of my things in portrait. So for me, it's
hard for me. See, I don't appreciate pictures even on screens. Even I was setting up to me a tutorial. It's not up anywhere yet. I did a van in New Zealand. And I'm looking at the pictures and just think, it just doesn't work. It's just a picture. But if this was 2 meters long and 1 meter high, oh my God, this would work. It needs that room that you can look around the picture and actually you have to move your head. Stop it.
I was looking at the picture. What? I'm...
Yeah, you're looking like one of those things from St Kilda, Luna Park. Just open your mouth and we'll throw a ping pong ball in it.
Hate clowns.
I don't know. It's the one thing that is happening. Less and less people are getting to see pictures how they should be seen. Printed or big. And that's one thing I am going to do this year, print.
It's got sediment, need to tip that out.
I'm going to print some big prints and hang them up in here because just printing them at sort of like 60 by 40, I go, oh wow, but then I go, oh, imagine if I took it up to that AO size, got right up to a nice big size. That's what I'm looking through at a viewfinder most of the time, a picture big, not a picture small.
The viewfinder's pretty small.
I know, but when I'm looking through, I'm imagining it as big.
What?
Oh, it's going to be one of these podcasts.
What do you mean?
It's a Friday.
What do you mean one of these podcasts? I just said, Sorry for making a noise.
So I had a couple of we'll change subjects because obviously Becca's burnt on this one.
No, I'm not.
It's about photography. We're not allowed to talk. So I've got to cook it. No, I'm not going to cooking. I've had 2 discussions this week with people. One is with a guy that works at the coffee place.
The coffee place?
Up in Linda, the one.
The coffee roaster.
The coffee roaster who all of a sudden knew who I was and got fanboy. Bumped into him and we had a fair check, and he was stuck on this common mistakes is, how do I get work? And, well, don't you working at the coffee roaster place? Yeah, I only work there 4 days a week, got 3 days a week free. I said, so what sort of work have you got? A studio? Oh, no, just any paid photography work. And I said, you can't really do that. It's like standing on the corner saying to everyone, I'll do anything. Everyone goes, well, I don't need anything done. But if you stood on the corner saying, I will paint your fence, somebody walking past will go, I need my fence painted.
Yeah.
And I tried to get him into this thing, but because he didn't know what he wants to, and I said, well, just what do you do best? And he didn't know that either. He just liked, if he had a camera, oh, that looks good, and take a picture, and loves it. And so it's very hard to get paid for maybe landscape and maybe street photography. But even street photography, I don't know, personally, I do not know anybody who makes a living shooting and selling street photography prints. I know plenty of people who shoot it, but I don't know anyone who's making a full-time living out of it.
Yeah.
It's more like surfing. Like,
you do it for
I know heaps of people who surf. I don't know personally don't know anyone that surfs for a living, personal friend of mine. Golfing, I only know one friend that makes money out of golf. So it's all those things. And talking through it, then he said, well, I just want forms of advertising. I said, but see how I get 20 phone calls a week, I get all this stuff in my mailbox. I said, well, do you buy it? I said, are you on social media? He goes, yes. And I said, so have you ever bought any of the ads on social media? No. I said, what's use of you advertising on it? Because nobody else is going to do the same thing. The cold calling just does not work. Unless, well, it must work because they do it all. The hit rate's got to be so bad. And what I was trying to get down to him, that if you have a shop and you don't know what to stock in there, nobody's going to come in and buy it. And it's a little bit like those Bob's Bargain Centres. You normally go in there for a browse to see what's a bargain.
In there, yeah.
You don't go in there saying, I need a hammer, let's go to Bob's. Right? If you go, I need a hammer, you're going to go to a hardware store.
Yeah.
So I said, you can't do that with your business. And he was all upset because he thought he had this perfect goal of making into photography without knowing what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And the few photos he showed me on his phone are nice, but like he's competent getting his exposure, his framing's nice, but I've seen a million times the same pictures before. It's just like something nice happened and you captured it well. That's not enough to get people to knock on your door and walk in. Then where I'm going with this is, well, it's like a double-edged sword. The first thing was how to advertise, how to get people. And I had my own tricks on what I did, and I've spoken about them before. The one with the business cards I did, which is especially any portrait shoot or family shoot, anything. The best picture, I had a little action set on Photoshop and dropped the picture in there. It was set up to print on a nice heavy card, and it'd be 10 business cards with my details on, but their photo. People don't just tend to throw away their own photo.
Yeah.
So they'd hand it to a friend, hey, look at this. And I got a lot of work out of that. Another trick I used to do was make sure everyone I met asked me what I did for a living. Without saying to them, guess what I do for a living?
Yeah.
That doesn't work. You just have to have a conversation, somehow get something in there that they go, oh, so what do you do for a job? And the amount of portrait work I picked up in the really early days just through that. not high paying, but it got foot in the door. Next minute I'm doing the whole family, things like that.
I don't get work from that, but that happens to me a lot because I don't just go out and say, but I'll be saying something like, oh yeah, like the other day at work, so oh yeah, I did this at work, and people are like, what do you do for a living?
And you said drink, and nobody's going to employ you to drink.
And I'm like, oh, I'm a personal assistant to a photographer, and they're like, that's so cool. I'm like, yes. It's all right. Someone's got to do it.
So nobody goes, can I book you to do that for me?
Like, that's what I'm saying. No one, but it's just like people, I guess because I don't have, like I just say so many random things about like, oh yeah, at work this, at work that, or like traveling and stuff. People are like, what on earth do you do?
And you haven't sold one single job for me.
Yes, I probably have. Anyway.
We're going to take that PA symbol off your business card.
No.
You're not a professional advertiser. It's not working at all. But yeah, my whole thing was, that was the start. But then the next thing, and it really blew big, I reckon he spends half his time on the internet looking at other photographers and getting jealous because of the amount of followers they have. Because he brought it up and I could see it was eating it. There's pictures of shit, but they've got like 1,000 followers. And I think, well, 1,000 followers is not a lot of followers. It's like 1 billion or something on Meta. 1,000's nothing in 1 billion. And if all you got to do, if you have a look at, there's most likely 100,000 photos go up on Instagram every second. So your 1,000 just disappears really quick. And while you're looking at somebody else, you're not worrying about what you're doing. You're worrying about what they're doing.
But also followers, sir.
Well, followers aren't. No, they are money. They're long-term money.
But also, I look at that kind of stuff more at the amount of likes someone's getting rather than the amount of followers they have. Because the amount of followers, they could be bots, they could be people that have turned off from it's like the engagement that you need to look at. It's more the amount of likes that they're getting, I think, that is more important than what the follower number is.
Yes, and it then comes down to the subject. And I see this a lot. I would say some of the best photographers in Australia, if you went to their Instagram sites, you'd be devastated if you saw how many little likes how many followers they have, or how many likes they get in the picture. Like, these are really, really good high-end photographers.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the people looking at their sites would never buy the magazines that they're getting printed into. They're in a different... It's like a guitarist in Taylor Swift's band would most likely have more followers than one of the best guitarists in the world. Right? Yeah. And that's more where you've got to look at from is who's your target audience? How big's that audience? Don't expect, if you're in this little niche area with what you're doing, you can't expect people who don't understand that niche to like what you're doing.
Well, it's like sometimes I find, I think it happened somewhat recently actually. I found a new prog-star DJ but this is, like you said, it's niche. Like I listen, like this, the electronic music I listen to is so niche. Like progressive psytrance is such a small niche thing. Most people haven't even heard of it.
Yeah,
and then
half a DJ in the world.
I stumbled across an artist, when I say new for me, and started following him on socials. But I think even I had more followers than he does because it's such a niche little thing.
Yeah.
His music's incredible and I could never make anything that good. But yeah, it's just because it's a little niche thingy. Anyway, I think that's...
I remember, I can't remember.
I think that's kind of what you're saying. I was just relating it back to me.
You're relating it back to you like, it's all about you.
Of course it is.
No, but you're right. And its dedicated followers are the ones that count. The people that go, I like that, I like that, I like Brain Dead, I like that. I can be a little bit like that with some... Kate Moss picture comes up my feed. If it's
just like instant like.
Not instant, but unless it's... Well, some of the latest work is not so much instant. I'm not into face shaping. Maybe she needs to go see Christina Aguilera's doctor. No, you can't do that. Just age gracefully.
I always wanted to drop who the doctor is so that I could go see them when I get older. She looks incredible.
Sorry, you're talking $1 trillion. It's a lot of money.
She looks better than she did when she was like 20. She looks so good.
Yeah, but that's a face. So it's still an old lady's body underneath.
No, it's all right. There's clothing. Then you can turn the lights off. It doesn't matter.
Well, you could save a whole heap of money. Don't do it. Just leave the lights off. Never put the lights on.
No. Oh, did you have a drink?
I wonder if you'll be able to AI your cosmetic surgery that changes each day to how you want to look.
Hello.
Oh, you're stealing.
Oh, you've got a wet beard because you just had a drink. Hello, little friend.
Little thing. She went to the vet today. I'm talking about the dog. Not Beck.
The Beck in dog form.
She had to have some needles. And the vet said, "Oh, she'll be a little bit. How's your father? A bit dopey today." And yeah, she spent most of the day sitting in the basket, not running stupid around the studio, pulling the curtains apart.
Being a Beck.
Being a Beck.
It is seriously me in dog form. I love that dog.
Yeah, well, like I said to you, I went into the vet with it. The owner of the vet goes, "Cutest dog in the world. I want it." He goes, "How come you have the two best dogs in the mountain?" She loves our little other dogs, so.
Anyway, jumping back, sorry, I got distracted by
her.
By the dog.
The dog.
My bad.
And I've lost my spot.
We were talking about...
Oh, yeah. So I think people, it's really easy for you to look at somebody else and only see the roses and not see the farts. Is that a good saying? Don't know, mate. No, it's like even when you look at super big people, everyone goes, "Oh, imagine having that fame, imagine having all that money." And yeah, here we go. Imagine have to have security people, imagine have to be careful. You know, there's going to be psychos out there. I don't want to kill you or do something. Yeah. Imagine you can't ever go to a shopping centre on your own. You can't go to a movie cinema on your own. You can't go to the beach on your own. You can't. So many things you can't do. You now need to own a Learjet because you can't get on a plane because some psycho will hunt you out in Qantas Club.
I love you.
And then sit in the plane and go, "Oh, they're only in cattle class."
I love the Bring Me Flu in economy. We love humble kings. And my seat was in front of this because I am platinum.
You see what I mean? I couldn't imagine being someone like Taylor Swift or Justin Bieber, someone who's so recognisable and literally cannot do anything.
Yeah.
That would be horrible. You're basically in the jail. And I've heard Justin Bieber say it, and after watching it, Robbie Williams sing, it's like you can't trust new people, what they want from me.
Yeah.
You know, I just want a friend. I don't want to have to, is he only hanging around me because he thinks I'm going to get money or I'm going to get fame? He's going to pick up chicks. He's going to... Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It make you so paranoid of the people around you.
But also, like, with this and, like, you saying that, yeah, like, looking at things from the outside, like, because it's popped up recently with something that was going on that, yeah, social media, people are only going to post the very best things on social media. They're not going to post about crappy things. People want to show off and just present to you the best and present to you this version that they want you to see.
Until you become super famous and everyone just wants to post the worst about you. But, he's bending over, putting petrol in her car. Look at her fat ass.
But for the most part, people are just going to show you the very best little...
of their life.
Of their bits, yeah.
And it's also going to be face-tuned.
No.
Never.
Never.
It always pisses me off when now and then you'll put something up, a video, and go, "Why doesn't that bitch ever give me that face?" Because it's not really her face. It's her face-tuned face. It's video, so it can't be face-tuned.
No, there's
video.
There's a new filter I've been using on Insta that looks really realistic, and it only slightly.
Has Jared ever gone, "Can that come to bed with me, not this thing"? That's why I'm only punching you. He wakes up, and that's not what I saw in you and in my feed today.
I know. Just another disclaimer. Jared didn't actually punch me. Okay.
You said to me he punched you.
In his sleep. I don't know what I don't know, because normally
It's because you put the cage around your bed for cage fighting.
It's normally me. I think we said this last week of me doing my weird sleepwalking. And normally I'm the one, who does cooked stuff in my sleep. But then last night, I don't know, he just randomly jolted up and slammed his hand down on me and slammed it back into my arm. I was like, ow. And then he sat up and started so I think he was mumbling and just waving his hands around, and then just grabbed all the blankets, and I was like, oh, okay.
Sounds like a fun dream.
Ouch. And I'm
Did you
cold.
give him cheese before he went to bed?
I was like, I'm cold, and I went to try and take the blanket back, and he snatched it, and I was like, I'm cold.
I would have walked over to the window and just stared out the window with a knife in your hand. He would have woken up.
He was dead asleep.
The Blair Witch look.
I don't know what. I told him this morning, he felt so I was like, I'm so tired, I couldn't get back to sleep after you had some weird, I don't know, fit thing. He's like, what? And I told him, and I was like, hey, he whacked me in the face. I'm so sorry.
We should get Joe Rogan over there. He could commentate your nice sleeping.
Between the two of us, it's very...
I think you two need to stop watching UFC.
Never. Although maybe if there...
Isn't there one on... Oh, no, it's not on your wedding day, is it?
No, because that's a Thursday.
Thursday. For some reason, I thought there was one on your wedding day.
No, can't be.
Well, there's going to be sort of one, but...
I'm starting to enjoy the prelims more than the main cards.
You told me that. You made me watch part of it once, and... I'm not really into the cuddling.
I hate the
cuddling.
The grappling.
Cuddling. There wasn't no grappling. It's a little bit fondling. Some of the moves are a little bit...
Yeah,
Can we shut the curtains on this for a little bit?
Sometimes it looks very questionable, but yeah, I don't like it when they do that. Anyway, I won't bore you guys with my love for violence.
Your love for violence.
Love violence. I made Casey watch some violence after we picked up my wedding dress. She was some of her facial reactions were pretty priceless. She said, because Casey's a AFL girl, for those of you who aren't from Australia, it's our football, not soccer. Australian Football League, AFL. Australian Football League. Yeah, AFL.
Used to be called what?
I don't know, I'm not into it.
VFL. Oh. So originally it was only Victoria.
Oh, is that why Victorians are really into it more than any other state?
Yeah, originally it was VFL, which was only Victorian teams.
Hey, there you go.
And then the other, they used to play it in Adelaide and Perth and Tasmania, but they didn't play against any of the Victorian teams. And then Sydney was the very first.
The Sydney Swans.
But that was South Melbourne. They moved them to Sydney and called them the Sydney Swans. And Fitzroy became Brisbane.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know any of this. See, I'm not into
of course you don't. See, I'm educating you every day.
Well, no, Casey's a AFL girly, and I...
Yeah, Collingwood supporter.
Yeah, I do not like it. But she said as payback for me dragging her to the pub to watch the violence.
Did she make you watch football?
No, she said she's going to as payback.
Do you have to go to the grand final with her or something?
I don't think she's going to. I think she was just being a bit funny.
Well, my one thing, I even said it to Casey on your hens night. The one thing I can say is my team has only ever won the grand final once, and they beat her team by 1 point. But twice in grand finals, they've had draws. St Kilda and Collingwood twice have had draws.
Anyway, sorry for the footy chat. That's not what we do around here.
Yeah, for anybody overseas, we should put a link up. We'll put a link up to a YouTube in our bio.
So you can see.
Not in our bio.
Not in our bio, in the description.
We'll put it up and show. I'll just find a really good bit of Australian rules football, and I'll put it up, and you can see how crazy it is.
It's not my jam. I'd rather watch grown men fight in little boxes.
Yeah, I still can't do that.
That's more my jam.
There was something came up on X the other day I showed you.
Oh, that was not real.
2 males against 3 influenza girls. Like, girls looked like they could punch, so it wasn't look... But it felt wrong. It just feels...
No, that wasn't real, I don't think.
Same as there's been a few things I've seen that pop up in all different crap, just that mindless... What do you call it? Death scrolling.
Doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling, which is the worst thing to get... Yeah. It's hard. Sometimes if you're a bit bored, you get stuck doing it.
I do all the time. The doom scrolling. There
was one where some girls come up and full-on punched a guy in the head, and he just swung around and slapped it with the force of a male. And you still feel that that's just so wrong, but she should never have done it. But it still felt like, no, that's wrong. I don't accept that. But anyway, let's get off violence.
Yes.
The world has too much violence in it.
Sorry.
Bec and Jared at night, violence. Maybe that's the thing. Yeah, I was just going to finish off what I was saying is the one thing I've learned from... I'm the type of person, if I see someone driving a Ferrari, I go, how did you get that? Like, tell me your story. I'm not the type of person that runs a 20-cent piece down there.
Yeah.
And I won't just walk up to a random, but I might be at in all the different businesses and different associations I've been in my life. I've met lots of very, very clever business people. And the one thing that stuck with me with all of them is they didn't care about their competitors. Not one of them I ever heard talk about what their competitor is doing. Because that's just dead time. If you spend an hour a day on your competitors, that's an hour a day you didn't put into your own business.
Yeah, and then you got nowhere.
You got nowhere.
You just got angry.
You just got angry and annoyed, and then you start...
And that's a waste of cortisol, and that's going to...
cortisol?
Cortisol's something that, like, gets into
Is that where you pee out?
No, it's... I think cortisol comes from stress. And then that's really bad for your body, and then, like, if you have high levels of cortisol, and then you...
Oh, we need to talk about this then, Miss Stress Head.
It's really bad for you.
Well, don't stress.
Oh, thank you, I'm cured. Thank you.
I get a phone call a couple of mornings ago, and she has locked her keys in her car.
I still don't
But
know.
a car isn't a key lock, it's electronic lock. So she doesn't know how it locked. But then her first panic was, I have a spare key that's in the house, but my house keys are on the car keys.
Which is now locked in the car.
As if anybody, haven't got it handy. Bec's keychain is so big, you need a semi-trailer to take it around.
I think we've shown this before.
Have we? Anyway, it's lost half of the...
Sorry, if you don't... Sorry for those who are just listening and not watching, but if you are watching...
Sorry if it's out of focus, the autofocus might...
This is my... Keychain. Because I lose everything, so this way I can't... Do you know the amount of comments I get on this at the shop? I think we've been through this before. Yes. And there is a rhyme and reason.
There's so many things there that are broken, like this little catch here. What was on that?
I don't know. I need to clean it up.
Anyway, so she finally got into the house through the cat door, and she knew that she'd put the spare key in the key drawer, but she couldn't remember what the key drawer was.
No, I didn't know. No, so I got in.
You said you had a key drawer.
Not at first. So I got in and I called Peter in a panic, and...
She's nearly crying, by the way. She's hyperventilating.
And I was like, Peter's like, where's your spare? And I'm like, I'm looking for it. And I thought it was in one specific drawer in the wine rack. I don't know why I thought it was in that drawer.
Because that's the only drawer it's the only part of your house you go to. The wine rack.
It wasn't in there. So then I checked the second drawer in the wine rack. It wasn't in there. And then I remembered when I got the car and I had the spare key, I remember saying to Jared, here, I'm useless. You look after this. So then I went to the office and I was looking in the drawer of his desk. Wasn't in there. And I'm like, where is it? So then I'm looking in the coffee table drawer, not in there. Then I looked in like the chest of drawers in the lounge room, it's not in there.
Then you text him or tried to ring him to say, have you got my key with you?
well, just where is it? But then Jared was in a meeting, so
it's just my future wife. Yeah.
and so then I messaged
My
him.
wife.
My
Yeah.
wife. And then so I messaged him, and he didn't reply. And then I called Peter back, and I was like, I can't find this Becky. And then Peter's like, Beck, I was like, it's here somewhere. I don't know where. And he's like, Beck, you and Jared need to have a drawer where you put all of your spare keys. I was like, actually, we do. Oh, we do. Oh, why did I think of this?
No, because the one brain cell was stressing too much to actually think.
I was stressing too much to think straight, but I ended up finding my spare key.
So can you bottle that cortisol and sell it? It sounds like something you could spray on weeds to kill them.
Most likely could. Anyway. Long story short, I still don't know how my car managed to lock itself.
Or did you try it out?
No.
No. You need to.
I know I need to.
It'll never
just
happen.
Weird. No, I will. I'll do it tonight.
Yeah, you will. And you'll watch Green Mile one day too.
Oh my gosh. I'll do it when I get home. I meant to do it the other night, but I got busy. I was on the phone to people.
I'm putting this in my notes so I don't forget. Anyway, back on that thing before the cortisol came. Oops, undo, stop it. Oh, deleted. So my whole thing is while you're looking at other people, you're not looking at yourself. While you're looking at other people, you're looking at what they're doing, which is not who you are. So it's even like you, if you compare yourself with some other girl, you can't because she's blonde, you're brunette. You can't because she's 4 foot tall and you're 6 foot tall. You follow?
Yeah.
So, and there's so many people that won't like a 5'10", curvy, blonde, no tattoos. So many people will hate that looking girl.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be that.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but it's the same with running a business. If I still say to everyone, if you think about it carefully, there'll be a percentage of the world that has very similar taste to you. So if you do what you love, there'll be a percentage in the world that will love what you do. You will only ever make money out of people that love what you do. You won't make money out of people that like what you do.
It's quite similar to what you tell a lot of models who are maybe getting a little bit down about things, saying, and you always say to them, right, you've got to think of this, that let's say there's a red jar, a green jar, a blue jar. You might be a blue jar and a client might go to your agency and say, hey, we need a red jar.
And the agent sent you out there, but you're a blue jar, she's looking for a red jar.
And they want a red jar, so you're not going to get the job because they wanted a red jar and it was your silly agent that sent the blue jar for the red jar job. But that's nothing against you. It's just that you are you and they wanted something that's not you. But that's nothing against you because there is going to be clients out there that want the blue jar. Just that particular... Yeah. I really liked that analogy.
Yeah, but everything in the world is like, and you simplify it that way, it's when you look at, say, models, is very strong about that. A client knows exactly what they want. And one of my favourite little things I saw Helmut Newton do, he had like 20 or 30 models come in to audition for a shot he wanted to do. And it was really, really funny because he wanted a certain shaped breast, but he didn't ask them to see their breasts. Some of them offered, but others didn't. But the one he thought would be the best, Helmut Newton didn't say, can I see your breast to see if it's the look I want? It's a sign when she's outside and there's the Marlboro Man billboard. It's a famous picture.
I think I know the one.
And it's really, really funny. In the end, he goes, I really wanted her body, her head, but that other girl's breasts who did show it. So that's a red. There was nothing wrong with her, but he had a picture in his head what he wanted to create.
Yep.
And I get hundreds of beautiful women that contact and want to shoot, and I just look at them and go,
you're beautiful, but it's not my look.
I can't get... Yeah, if I'm going to be doing stuff for my book, I need a model that is going to have my look. Yeah. It's very hard for me to work with a model that It's a mixture of look and a personality. There's something on the inside that I need as well. So regardless if you're doing photography, if you're doing custom car building, whatever, custom car builders will have a certain look about the type of custom cars they build. Hairdressers will have a certain look. Makeup, everyone has a look. Don't look at everybody. Just do what you do so good, you'll attract everyone who likes that look.
Well, it's actually, yes. So perfect example of this, and relate it back to me. I was looking for a hairstylist for my wedding, and I messaged my friend who is a professional hair and makeup artist, but she works in the TV industry now, and also she's my friend, I'm not going to ask her, but I was like, oh, she knows people. So I was like, hey, I need someone. So she sent me through some people, and one of the people that she sent me, work was beautiful. It was very polished. She did this certain kind of S wave, and all of her curls were there. Wasn't like curls, it was this kind of S wave, and that seemed to be her signature. Very polished, and I was like, her work's beautiful, but I don't want
an S wave.
I don't want that. I want
I want a big,
a Victoria's Secret blowout.
And then I've gone and partied for 4 days straight, and now it's this massive.
No, I just want a big Victoria's Secret blowout. I don't want this polished S wave. But that's a very common
Which is
bridal.
a shame, because the hairdresser you're looking at was really good at doing that. But
I know. She unfortunately forgot that she had a trip booked on the week of my wedding.
Anyway.
Well, she said yes, but then she was like, I'm so sorry, I forgot to.
But
anyway.
she also said she doesn't do weddings.
And she doesn't do it. She was doing me a favour. Yeah.
It's
But
better off that she just says, no, sorry, I don't do weddings. It would save giving you more time to find someone.
But that is a certain look, and there is a lot of people out there that like it, and she's most likely booked and busy with the people that like that. It's just
In fact, I know someone that could do that, but can't say this live, but she ended up being a bit of a disaster. I haven't spoken to her for years, but
no,
she did that.
Well,
that was what she specialised in.
I have found someone who works, and it's fine. And she knows the brief. She knows what she's doing. I've seen examples of it, and I'm like, perfect. So
that's next Thursday, was it?
Yeah.
So anyone who's coming to our workshop next Thursday, sorry, Bec's going to piss off early to get her hair done. I had to do that.
This will be after the workshop, anyways.
Oh, everybody who's really pissed off that. Bec freaks so much. It's Bec, you do. Once it hits 3 o'clock, you just drink anyway, so you might as well go. I'll save your kidneys and liver.
I felt so bad because I said to her, she was like, how about the 27th of February at 5:30? And I was in my head, I was like, oh, perfect. I just have to leave work a little bit early. I was like, yeah, that'll work. And then realised, oh, wait, we have a workshop on. Oopsies.
Of course you did. I had to book, so I had my dog vaccinated, so I have to book the next one in a month's time. What's in a month?
My wedding.
So the day after your wedding, would you like 8:10 in the morning? And I said, no. Although I could do it, I just don't go to bed.
Stay up drinking Southern all night.
They don't breathalyse you at vets, do they?
I don't know.
You don't know. All right, one thing, because I made a note, even today, we did a shoot today for a tutorial, and I used Malika, and I've been editing a bit crazy because I know I have to, because I've got the workshops and SO and then wedding
then
in Europe.
Yeah.
So I really have to get ahead on it without rushing. So I hate rushed ones. So they always end up in the rubbish bin. And while I did 2 in one night, I got in a really good role, and we filmed them right. So no camera fails and the sound syncs. They're really quick to do, but most times they're not. Long story. I'm doing a Bec story. I was sitting there going, I hate myself at the moment. I'm showing people these looks I can get. Sorry, you have to have a Hasselblad to use this software program to do this.
And then telling everyone don't go buy a Hasselblad.
And then telling people don't buy a Hasselblad because the best Hasselblad is the H6D, which you cannot get repaired if the back fails. So you could buy one and within 2 days it could die and there's nothing you can do about it. All the X's are just junk. You can go back to the older ones that you can have repaired, but then you're going to have to buy an old computer to tether with them. So there's all these downsides why you would never, ever buy a Hasselblad. So we shot today on the Leica system and tethered with Lightroom, and within the first 3 seconds I realised why I do my tutorials with the Hasselblad.
Yep.
It's because it has perfect overexposure warning. So I could do it with Capture One, but Capture One now is very expensive. I could tether with it, but I don't like its adjustment. So I could tether to see my overexposure warning accurate, but then I couldn't get the look I wanted. So today I was tethering with the Leica, looking on the back screen of the Leica to seeing if it was overexposed or not, then looking at my computer screen to see if I was liking the light. And it was just like such a friggin' pain. It actually took so I have a technical brain and I have a creative brain, and it stopped me being super, super technical, then super creative. So I've realized I am going to keep shooting tethered with the Hasselblad, but I'm going to start doing all of my post work on the Hasselblad through Lightroom, so then it doesn't matter what camera you have, you can do the same as I'm doing. You won't have those secret little V1 tricks I have that nobody else can get hold of.
Very nice of you.
No, well, I thought it was bad of me. Because I know I can get my look out of Lightroom. So I know I can, if I want that haloing effect, I know I can do that in Lightroom, whereas I know I cannot do it in Capture One. I know I can do some other stuff in Lightroom which I can't do in Hasselblad. So it'll open up my things a little bit more. Nice.
My best friend has tried to call me.
Your best friend?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Oh, maybe she lost your shoes.
She would not lose my shoes.
Why else would she be calling you? Are you trying to finish the podcast? We've been going too long.
No, not at all. I'm just more like, she never calls me during business hours.
You could have called her on the podcast. We could have done the show.
No, she doesn't call me during business hours. I'm terrified.
Oh, now you're not going to be able to sit.
No, I can. Come. We're
So-
due to finish soon, unless you have something to wrap up, though.
No, it's just I spent a little bit of time the other night because I have worked too hard at 12 o'clock most nights this week editing. But I was finding it really, really hard because I was thinking carefully, favourite camera in the world's Hasselblad, by far. The Leica outside around New Zealand, low light, fine, great. The Sony is still a great camera, and with the Leica lenses on, it's better, but I still find the sensors too digital, where the Leica is not quite as great a sensor, so it doesn't. I like what it's doing.
You Leica it?
I Leica it. I don't like about Leica releasing a new Suma Lux 50mm today. I hate that.
Why?
Because the Suma Lux I have got that little focus tab. I hate the focus tabs. The new one they've just released, which is the 1956 one rebuilt, doesn't have it. And I go, I just want that, but it's going to be like $15,000. I'm not spending that and swapping two 50mm lenses just because of focus tab. The Leica people love that little, I hate it. I want to just stick my fingers anywhere but without it.
Perfect.
No, not there. Never. Ugh. Why would you think of this? See what I'm going to put up with? Oh my God. The brain lives in the gutter. And maybe that's where you end every night. But yeah, so it's really hard because I love helping people learn, but I now, after today, realise that the best way I can teach is teach my setups with the Hasselblad, and then I'll make sure that anything I shoot with the Hasselblad, I'll do a post version. So just in Lightroom, without going into Photoshop, just do a raw post section of the picture in Lightroom so people can see what they can do with their Sonys or Fujis or whatever.
Nice.
Anyway, that's my little panty rant.
Your little panty rant?
My panty rant without some gutter talk. Sorry about the gutter talk. I have to live with this all day,
No,
every
you
day.
don't live with it.
And I ordered some band T-shirts, and Beck's all upset because I'm not going to be wearing her face on the breast anymore.
That's not...
Yes, you do. You're not going to... Why are you buying band T-shirts?
I
Don't
didn't.
You like
I just
me
saw...
anymore?
I was doing emails and I saw you order from band T-shirts and I was like, oh, you bought some band T-shirts, and then you put words in my mouth. I was just curious.
Curious.
You're just trying to take after me with my band T-shirts. Did you get any that you don't listen to?
No, I only... So I've got Rush, Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith, Black Sabbath. I got Black Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. That was the first friggin' Sabbath albums I ever bought.
I'm going to buy you a Bring Me the Horizon. I'm going to buy you a Taylor Swift.
The metal shirt?
The one that I have with the...
I've been trying to... I've got to do it. I'm certain I can. There's got to be a overlay metal shirt that then I can put your face on it.
Oh, you can do... actually, my friend...
Your friend, you don't have any.
I have friends. Vicky actually got... there's a website and there's a template, and Vicky got a T-shirt for Ish, who's her boyfriend, and it's...
a DJ on a metal shirt?
No, it says... she got it saying Vicky, and then just got a collage of photos of her, like a band T-shirt. She bought it for her boyfriend.
Oh my God.
I want to come up and
Ish has to wear it every day, otherwise are you going to do that to Jared?
I asked Jared, I was like, do you want this, Jared? He's like, no. I'm like,
Yeah, you should do it to Jared.
We'll do it to Jared.
I should print him one of the T-shirts of you. She'll never wear it. Oh, what? But no, if I put subgenre Beck, so drum and bass subgenre Beck, he's got to wear it.
Oh my goodness. That's funny. Anyways. Thank you for coming to our...
They had no choice. Oh no, they did. They didn't have to click.
They didn't have to, but we appreciate you guys listening to us.
We do.
We really do.
Like...
If you guys ever have suggestions or questions or anything you want us to talk about,
just please throw it in we'll bring it up and we'll hang shit on you for a dumb suggestion. That's what we're going to do. No,
because sometimes we do tend to ramble a little bit, and we know that can be quite boring for everyone. So if you guys have specific topics that you want us to talk about or cover, or questions you have for us, you can leave it in a comment. You can send us an email. Just let us know, and we will.
Our biggest problem is things will happen, we don't write it down. And then we forget. And then we get such a rush, I've got to get a podcast, I'm going to sit down and do the podcast. And look in my thing, I haven't written anything down.
Same. Anyways.
I'm still spewing you didn't screenshot that AI suggesting of what we should do for YouTube posts.
Yeah. I'll have a look if it's still there.
No, I've tried to look everywhere and couldn't find it.
I'll see what I have to find. Anyway, you guys have a fantastic week.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
See ya.